Hello, and welcome to the introduction of Innobuzz's online marketing course. My name's Justin King. I'm the instructor for this course, and let me just tell you a little bit about it and why it's so great for you and your company. A little bit about Innobuzz first. Innobuzz is headquartered in Delhi, India. It has a strong presence in Australia, the United States, and Canada, along with many other countries. Innobuzz provides training primarily in IT, information security, and online marketing. These training programs are delivered to an audience all over the world via online computer courses, on-site training programs, and company learning centers. The company is actually pretty massive, and their spread across the world is rather large. And it makes sense. After all, they've trained more than 12,000 students globally. They have presence in over 20 countries via their distance learning program, have centers across India, New Delhi, Mumbai, and Hyderabad, and have a huge list of clients and training programs that have been conducted for various firms and government bodies. They partnered with Microsoft, AVG, the famous antivirus software producer, as well as IBM. So what's inside this internet marketing course and why is it so important? We designed it for two different kinds of people: the entrepreneur, as well as the corporate employee. For the entrepreneur, we wanted to cover something so that you could come in from the ground, build up a company, whether it's online, or support your already existing company or soon to be existing company with a great sense of what you need to know about the internet and how those tools apply to your small firm. And from the corporate side, we've looked at perhaps bigger picture, bigger budget items continuously through this course as well. And the whole idea is that no matter what walk of business you're in, you can absolutely take advantage of this online marketing course. You're going to learn basically all of the major tools used by internet marketers and how they're successful. So you're going to learn exactly how to get websites ranked highly in search engines through a process called search engine optimization. Everything you could possibly want to know about social media across the major social media websites, including LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, are all in there, as well as Google+. If you've ever looked at the idea of running an advertising campaign, you're going to learn exactly how to do that. And the best part, there's actually going to be the information conveyed about whether you should run it. We're going to look at some of the math, which is not complicated, but it's important because you need to calculate your ROI before you actually start. And you're going to learn exactly how to do that, and that helps basically guarantee you success as long as, well, your math is correct. Email marketing 101, which will be covered, is absolutely critical with the plethora of anti-spam laws, as well as just best practices. If you affirm, or if you've ever received an email, and I imagine you have, where everything is all broken, and it's got this little icon that says, click to display pictures, and you click on it, and all of a sudden this gorgeous email pops up. We're going to talk about how to avoid that, some of the latest trends in email marketing. AdSense is Google's advertising solution for publishers. It's how many people across the internet make money, especially content-based providers. And we're going to talk about optimization and revenue maximization with that, as well as how to set it up. We're going to talk about online reputation management and some of the hacks and tricks you can do with that. Content marketing, which applies to everybody with a blog, anyone who's producing content on a regular basis, and how you can make that be as successful as you possibly can. And finally, the best part about the internet is that you can get 100% of the data you need to know what you're doing and how to become successful. And we do this through something called analytics. And so we're going to take a brief chapter. Actually, it's not so brief, come to think about it. We're going to take a great in-depth look at web analytics, what that means, and how to apply that massive amount of data to be something useful to you and your company. In total, there are 9 chapters in this course. Chapter 1 is an introduction. We're going to look at some of the basic definitions we're going to use. We're going to talk about some of the basics of major search engines, rankings, and algorithms. Learn what PageRank is. We're going to look at some very, very introductory web design. Nothing too complicated. And we're going to look at a way of making web design much easier. See, in the old days, you used to have to code everything manually. But nowadays there's something called what you see is what you get editors. And this means that you can design it like a word processor and it will automatically spit that out in code, so you don't actually have to do anything. We're going to learn about all of that in Chapter 1. In Chapter 2, we're going to go incredibly in depth on search engine optimization. We're talking incredibly. We're going to be looking at all of the things that you need to do in order to be successful. And we're going to split this chapter into two separate parts. There is on-page optimization and off-page optimization. On-page optimization occurs on your actual site. It includes things like the keywords that you put, using certain header tags, making sure that your URL structure is complete and that you have proper site structure. Off-page optimization includes things done off of your actual website, as you have no doubt inferred. And so this involves things like directory submissions, article submissions, and getting links back to your site. We're also going to look at some of the things you shouldn't do with search engine optimization, including black hat techniques. We're going to steer you away from something called latent semantic indexing, talk a little bit about Google sandbox effect. That chapter is absolutely packed with information. Part 3, or Chapter 3, is on social media marketing. And so we're going to look at the 5 most important ones at the moment. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Google+. And we're going to go through each of these, paying the most attention to the biggest and most important ones. Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook, we're going to talk about trends and open graph. We're going to talk about the difference between profiles, places, groups, and pages. If you've ever wondered that, we're going to look a little bit into apps, measuring and monitoring the data, what a sponsored story is, all of these cool little tricks that an online marketer can use in order to build brand awareness. With Twitter, we're going to look at just how microblogging works and what exactly that is. We're going to look at what tweeting happens to be and some best practices that you should do on there. And throughout this chapter, we're going to be focusing heavily on social media strategy, because that's important. And whenever we're in business, we always want to make sure that we're doing things, not just because everyone else is doing them, but because there's a good reason for it. And we're going to talk about all of that in Chapter 3. Chapter 4 is on pay-per-click advertising. And when it comes to the web, in all honesty, pay-per-click is kind of absolutely essential that you need to know this. Now, it's not right for every firm, and in this chapter, I will share a story of a firm that I was in discussions with doing pay-per-click advertising. They'd already analyzed this and what they ended up having their decision be upon doing that analysis. But for many companies out there, pay-per-click is just essential to their success. And the best part about it is it's just pure math. Unlike traditional advertising, where you just kind of threw money at a problem or into advertising and crossed your fingers and hope that it worked, with pay-per-click, everything is able to be analyzed and optimized very easily and very inexpensively. So whether you're an entrepreneur or part of a major corporation, as long as you can make the math work, and we are going to cover that in that chapter, then pay-per-click advertising absolutely makes sense for your firm. Now, it is a bit of a process. If you first look at logging into a system, or in a pay-per-click system, like AdWords, for instance, or maybe Facebook PPC, there is a little bit to it. So we're going to cover those two major ones, AdWords and Facebook pay-per-click. And we're going to talk about how to create ads, the strengths of each, the weaknesses of those specific programs. We're going to talk about things like bid management, which is the core of how all pay-per-click advertising works online. Different advertisers bid on different keywords, and so you bid against others based on those keywords. So if you want cheap laptops, as an example I use a lot throughout the course, well, then you pay the most for the position you're getting based on how everyone else. Like if you want that number one spot, the best one, then you got to outbid everyone else. And so we're going to talk about how exactly to not let your budget get out of control. All very, very important, critical stuff. The next chapter is all about email marketing. And email marketing is actually really important. It took a little bit of a flack once social media marketing came in And people looked at it and said, well, this replaces email marketing, no big deal. Except that the data is in. And the data shows that email marketing converts higher than social media marketing. So what that means is that when it comes to a marketing tool, having a great email list is actually better than having a great social media list or social media base. And that's really important and really interesting to think about. So we're going to discuss that and then talk about, well, basically, how do you set up an email campaign? What makes it good? What are the different parts that go into it? We're going to talk about testing, and this is something that is going to come up multiple times throughout the course. In fact, it's going to come up so often that I even start to joke about it. But testing is the key to all internet marketing. Because you can see what you're doing at any given time and make adjustments at any given time, it becomes this continual game of, oh, how can I improve this? This is my data from this. Let's see if I can make that better. And we're going to look at that with email marketing, PPC, analytics for your website, AdSense. It shows up in some way across almost every single chapter. Within Chapter 5, we're also going to look at relevant laws. We're going to look at CAN-SPAM in particular, which is the North American anti-spam law. It's very similar to the one passed in Europe, and legislation either going through or being passed globally. Following spam laws is very important, and so we're going to talk about critical aspects such as permission marketing, which was predicted and really grandfathered by Seth Godin in the late 90s, who's a famous marketer, Seth Godin, and make sure that we get everything covered from A to Z. Chapter 7 is all about AdSense. Sorry, Chapter 6 is all about AdSense. And so we're going to look at that program, how it works, and how you can make the most money out of it on your website. Because one of the things that I really notice when I go across the internet is loads and loads and loads of companies who have AdSense on their site, but they've never done anything except just throw the ads on them. They literally just said, okay, we're going to put these ads on our site and we're going to call it good. And they just paste it in wherever it's convenient and cross their fingers and hope that it works. Which, okay, I mean, it's a strategy, but I'm going to propose a better one and a way that you can make a lot more off of your advertisements. Now, even though this chapter does look at advertising, it can be used for anybody using different programs. I know not everybody uses AdSense, although it is the most popular program. So what we're going to really focus on is making sure that that system makes perfect sense. Chapter 7 is on analytics, a critical chapter. Because of all that data that we get online, we're going to focus on exactly what you can do to improve your sites. I'm even going to share some examples from some consulting that I've done fairly recently, where there was one company in particular that felt like they were losing traffic and having inefficiencies on their website, and how by going through their analytics data, and I'm going to talk about how I did this and show you exactly what to do, they were able to, hey, improve their profitability, make their site more efficient, stop bleeding out traffic. And you know what? That's all just from the power of analytics. Chapter 8 is all about reputation management. So what you can do to be successful online, to get your name out there, to get people talking about you, to generate word of mouth. We're going to look at a little bit of PR tricks while we're doing this chapter as well. And finally, Chapter 9 is all about content marketing. One of the greatest things about the internet, content marketing, for all the people publishing content, monetizing through ads, monetizing through selling related products. We're going to cover that as well. It's a great chapter and it's a great course, absolutely loaded with everything you need to know. Now, before you start this course, you do need basic computer knowledge for sure about the internet and about how your computer works itself. And you're going to find that if you have some knowledge of marketing, that is going to be helpful. Now, the course was designed for the beginner, someone who came in without knowing anything about internet marketing or marketing in general. However, if you already have a leg up on marketing, that is going to help you a little bit. Because every now and then we talk about things like the marketing mix, which is just a basic marketing term. Don't worry, all of that is explained in the course, but if you come in already knowing that, that'll be beneficial to you. So, the instructor, hi. I'm Justin King. I have a Master of Marketing Management, an undergrad in economics. I've been involved in various ways with internet marketing for 4 years now. I've worked in a digital advertising firm, and I know all of this stuff inside and out. I use all of it in my daily business life, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be sharing what I know with you. So what's included in this course anyway? You're going to find training videos loaded with examples and demonstrations, and I think that's pretty key. I really took the time to put in as many examples as well as demonstrations so you could see exactly how to get the results and exactly how the various programs and tools work. You're going to find a printed version of all slides used in the training videos so you can hold on to it, and you'll also get a DVD with the training videos on them. When it comes to registration and payment, it's all very simple. There's a variety of ways that you can pay. Online via secure credit or debit card transactions, you can send a check, or if you happen to live or be in New Delhi, you can actually pay in cash at Innobuzz's office. The best thing about Innobuzz, continuous support. Online support, there's 24-hour toll-free support, student counseling, as well as technical support if you happen to need it. So why do you need this course? What makes it so good? You're going to learn the tools used by successful internet marketers, and this will put you in a powerful position to succeed, whether you're an entrepreneur or a corporate employee. The truth is, the web isn't going to go away anytime soon, and probably not ever. More businesses are turning to the web to advertise and connect with their fans and their customers. And by completing this training, you put yourself in a potential leadership position if you happen to work for these companies. Entrepreneurs, corporate venturers, and leaders will find themselves able to make high-level strategic decisions regarding internet marketing. We're really going to cover everything that you need to know from A to Z. And at the end of the day, you're going to have a great outlook. Right? I'll see you in the course.